dry. Those are not the words that you like to hear.
You know, we have sprinkler systems,
There you go, yes.
but nothing
Or we have
water.
these.
But nothing waters like Mother Nature.
That's right. Yeah, we need some rain. Chris H. Olsen knows all about that with Botanica Gardens and Plantopia. How did you get, I guess the little sprinkler systems help these out?
We water every day.
Every single day.
By hand,
Well,
unfortunately.
this show has cost me a lot of money because I'm going to buy that.
I
right
like
now
how you didn't even
today.
ask. You said, I'm going to take
I'm
these.
getting this whole thing.
I'm
But
buying
this
the
is
whole
stuff
thing.
that you have. Not just to come in and grab some plants or whatever. You have all of the essentials for the fall.
well, we're talking about how you can accessorize your front porch and make your neighbors envious, okay?
Oh, my neighbors are
There's a
not
lot of
happy.
little tricks
Mike
that I
does a
do.
good job.
There's a lot of little tricks. First thing is find great, cool things. So these are wonderful because you can set any type of plants in it. You don't have to pot it. This is a
Wow.
croton, so it's different than a mum. It'll last all the way through Thanksgiving.
Okay,
it
I
just
need
drops in.
that.
You can also put candles in these, so you can do a big one, plant it, and a small one with candles
And
in
what,
it.
what I like to do is just turn this around
That's exactly right.
whenever
for
Halloween
Thanksgiving.
is over.
That's
Yeah.
right, and it's smart. And these not only do that, but they unclamp on the inside, and they open, so you can stack them and store them.
And you can serve pie in that.
And you can serve pie. But
He's like, sure.
you just got food always on your mind, you know.
Say.
But what I do is I also do some things different with them. So if I put them out my door, I can also mix terracotta pots with them. But I love using firewood. Have you ever used firewood at your front door for
No.
your fall display?
No.
Yeah, you can stack it like this and use it as a pedestal. It looks really fun. You can put pieces in front of them or stacked against something. Or you can get, this is a ash bucket for a fireplace, but I use galvanized buckets and I'll fill it with firewood and put it around my pumpkins at my front door.
And you like to use these too.
I love using vintage watering cans. And then these are pre-mixed, our hemorrhaging line, pre-mixed potted plants. They're in plastic pots, but they look good, so you don't have to set them in anything. And they're all pre-mixed to last you through Thanksgiving. But if you want to add the cute little fun elements, is what people notice. These are great ceramic mushrooms. So
Bring
I'm
a
going to have
little
you
color.
place those in there.
Okay.
Don't
You
drop
may
it.
have to hold this so it
It will
doesn't fall
break.
over.
Okay, here we go.
Now you
I got
place
it,
three
I
in
got
there,
it.
and just
You're putting
lightly put
three
it
in
in
there?
at an angle.
At an angle.
Oh,
Okay.
There you go.
And then we're going to add an orange
Oh,
one
make sure that
on
doesn't
the
fall,
other
Ashley.
side for weight.
There we go.
Now this was a little bit
Cute.
small. You don't have to press it all the way in, but like that. And you see, everyone's going to
Cute.
notice those when they drive by.
I love that. And also the different levels. You make sure that you have some things that are tall and some things that are lower.
Stage different things together, and also like this pumpkin doesn't look perfect, but it's positioned perfectly because it faces the audience. So adding pumpkins and gourds with warts, things a little bit more unusual, really adds
Bring
to the
some
display.
texture. We found a date on this can, 1963.
I know.
That's when you were born, Ashley.
No, that's before she was born.
Yes, it was before I was born, but it is super
It's
cool that
really
you have this.
cool.
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty.
this is great too. Hey, listen, if mums
looks
don't
fake.
last long, this is artificial.
Oh, it is.
But this is a canna lily, but in a container at your front door, nobody would know it, and you can have it look beautiful. And then you want to take it in the wintertime because obviously it's not going to be out in winter.
Yeah.
But you can even put this in a terracotta clay pot and keep it in a covered area, shady area in your porch for a summer display. No one knows it. Good silks make all the
I
difference.
know somebody that planted their entire flower beds
With
and
fake
fake plants.
flowers?
Yeah, but we noticed that. I don't know how they don't
know.
think that. In the beginning, you don't. But as they fade in the sunshine, you will know.
It's probably time to start thinking about Thanksgiving, maybe some table arrangements, and we have no one else other than the one and only Chris H. Olsen here to help us talk about getting set up for premier table arrangements. What do you got for us?
Well, I know when you woke up this morning, you're thinking, I just can't wait to
Get
make
out
a
of my
fall
head.
arrangement.
Get out of my head.
See, I just knew it. So, it's fall, and this is a great arrangement that you can make for inside to enjoy through not only October, but all the way through Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it's a great table setting, and you can use any type of container that you have. I like an urn because if you're going to use it on a table, sometimes you want a little bit higher up so you can see your people across the table.
Okay.
So you want to consider that. Now, this is
an urn. Grandma's not in this, just to be clear.
Well, yeah. No, that's what's inside.
You didn't see that coming, right?
No, I did not see that one
All
coming.
right. Just keeping you on your toes.
This is Oasis, and the reason why I'm using Oasis in the center is to lift up the pumpkin, which is going to be our centerpiece.
Okay.
So the only thing that is alive technically is going to be our pumpkin. That's real. Everything else is artificial, so it will last through November for sure.
Cool.
So what I'm going to do is we want to kind of disguise what we have in the center. So I just took inexpensive leaf garland and create it into a sphere. So tied it on both ends, and that's going to lay on the top. And this doesn't take too long to create. It's just gathering all the materials that takes a little bit.
Okay.
Now, when I do arrangements, I love texture besides just color. So I try to add elements in there that are a little bit different than you would think, like succulents. I use real dried mushrooms.
And where can you get stuff like this?
Well, you're so much you ask. We got it at Botanica Gardens, actually.
I suspected that may be your answer.
That's one of our fortes is doing table settings and stuff like that. So now we're starting to start, and then we're going to put our pumpkin in the middle. Now I want to do something contrasting. So the white really shows up everything else. And then you just kind of fluff up as you go, and then you just arrange as you want. There is no, bad or good. It's up to you. So I'm going to add in a little bit of succulent. Don't need to glue it. That way, if the pumpkin happens to rot, you can lift it up and put a fresh one in there. I'm adding, this is tillandsia or air plants, and this is all artificial. Now, you were talking about before the mushrooms. So we're going to go ahead and add those in. See how that rich brown brings out all the colors? And then why not even a little bit of something with a little purple in it?
Purple and green, okay.
Yeah. So we'll put that one over here on this end. And this one's long enough that we can actually put it in the oasis. And then we just continue on around and about. You might have to put a few random leaves. As you build, I even like these. These are actual real seed pods.
Okay.
They just have fingers. They look really cool.
And do those last as well?
Oh, yeah. Those will be years and years and years.
Similar to the mushrooms?
Yeah, and we'll tuck that one in there like that and so on. And then if you still see the vase, we just take our green sheet moss, which adds a little fluff, and we can go ahead and add that in between here and there and go all the way around, and we have a great table setting.
So with the exception of the pumpkin, everything that you've put together here can be stored up in the attic, pulled out next year.
Use year after year.
I'm going to assume this is pretty cost effective.
It's very inexpensive. I mean, these are $8, but you have them for years, and you can also use them all year round if you want, and other things. And then don't forget, when it comes to your table set, and this is the problem with Thanksgiving, is you work so hard, and then everyone eats in 20 minutes, and they have all these dishes to, clean. So I just wanted to show you these. We just got these in. These are such beautiful plates.
Wow.
They're wavy plates. So they're very elegant, and they have the salad plate. They even have a gold charger, and so on. So you could create a beautiful table setting with matching napkins. And when it's all said and done, they're disposable. Now, the only hard thing about this, they're so beautiful, it's going to be hard for you to throw them away.
Well, in my home, Chris, that's what we refer to as fine china.
That's fine. Okay, well, there you go.
Pool noodles?
It's like, what does pool noodles have to do with Halloween? That's
you're going to tell us, I hope.
Well, we're going to make a spooky candelabra.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that really cool?
It's spooky,
it's
but beautiful.
Spooky, it's beautiful, and it's inexpensive to make. And here's what you need. First of all, you need your pool noodles. Now, I know it is getting fall, and it's going to be hard to find these in some of the stores, but if you go to an actual pool store,
they're going to have
they
them.
still have the noodles. I think Walmart might still have them.
I bet a lot of folks have these just laying around.
If you have them laying around, they're faded, you don't know what to do with them, this is
cheap.
a perfect project. Yeah, cheap. You need your spray paint, your sealer, twine, because we got to tie them together to keep them together, a glue gun, of course, and a pair of scissors, and battery-operated tea lights.
That's the ambiance we're talking about.
That's the ambiance.
That's it.
So this is what we're going to create. So what you do is when you get your pool noodles, you just got to figure out how tall you want your candelabra is. So if you want to make it big at a front door, it's all up to you. You just have to make sure you secure them together. Once you get the noodles, all you got to do is then take your knife, and you want a nice sharp knife, so you got to be careful with this.
You be careful.
Slice it right at it, and I already pre-did it just in case. Especially now that I know that you're here with me.
He knows.
I'm going to keep this away from you.
Please.
And you slice it off, and then when you get your tea lights, you want to get one, some that are pretty long in length, because if they're not, they're hard to keep inside.
Okay.
Now, usually you can get them to fit a hole, but sometimes you have to take your knife and you have to cut out your hole a little bit bigger. Don't make it too big, because then it falls down. So you can just tuck it in just like that.
Nice and snug. And you're painting, it looks like you're also going to spray paint the tea lights also.
Yes, you want to get all of it black. Now, before you do spray paint, and just regular spray paint, then you're going to make it look like it's dripping wax.
Okay.
Now, this is not wax, believe it or not. This is hot glue.
All right.
So all you do is just drip it like this, and then
going to burn your fingers, Chris.
Yeah,
I know it's going to happen.
I know, it's very hot.
It.
Now, it's up to you how thick you want it. Or,
did you see that at home? I told you were going to do it, and you didn't
wear
listen
gloves. And you're right. It's just a little hot. That's live TV for you. Okay, and then it dries fairly instantly. Once you're done with that, then you're going to go ahead and spray paint the whole thing.
Okay.
And let it dry for just about an hour.
Average
Not too
spray
long.
paint. The chemicals don't mess with the pool
No, it
noodle?
doesn't eat the noodle or anything like that.
Okay.
Now, once you spray paint them, you're going to then take them and you're going to tie them at the bottom with your twine.
And that's hidden in the end product. I don't see the
That's
twine.
hidden in the black pot because I placed this in the pot.
Okay.
And then you might have to touch up your spray paint. And then, of course, you're going to go ahead and tape up your little light and then spray paint that because you don't want to spray paint that black
Of course.
inside. And then you just tuck that in, and then it's all about accessorizing.
Of course.
So what I did is I put it in a black pot. Now you can put this in a large flower pot and fill it up with mums and that type of thing. So it becomes like what you had your foundation plant in there.
Sure.
I added some artificial bittersweet. I took my spider and I just hot glued a safety pin on it. So it just slides right in, so you can take it off if you want to pack it away, you know, for that. And you can add that. I also love Spanish moss. And if you want, you could go ahead, pulls apart. You can droop some of that in there. It's all what you want and how haunted you want to make it. Or you can make it a little bit more classy by just keeping it nice and simple. And you have yourself now a spooky candelabra. Accessorize with your pumpkins. And I guarantee majority of your neighbors are not going to have this.
I love it. There you go. We're accessorizing. That's just what Chris H. Olsen does.
Well, I've been waiting for this cooler temperatures. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good time to talk about what these change in seasons mean when it comes to your gardens or your flowers. And you brought a variety of things to talk about today when it comes from switching from summer to fall and even into the winter months, right?
Correct. You know, we're just maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks away from a frost. I know last year we had an early frost at my farm. It was like mid-October, everything was dead. So you want to start thinking about doing your seasonal color. Now that we have cool nights, hopefully we're going to start having more rain. It's going to help. So I brought some things that are easy. And one of the main questions before we go on is people always, what can I plant for fall and winter color that is dare resistant?
Dare resistant.
Dare resistant, and that's a hard one. So I brought a few things. First one is Dusty Miller. It's a great foliage plant. It actually does bloom in the summertime. It can be a perennial besides an annual, but if you mix that with different colors of dianthus, dare do not eat either one of these.
Okay,
So,
Dusty Miller or dianthus?
Dianthus or both of them together. So you can do a whole garden, have color all the way through the winter, and they won't bother these. Now what they do love are pansies.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, you can do them in containers instead. And I brought a few different ones. This is one of my favorite ones. This one's called Beacon Fields. So it has two different colors to it. Now, my general rule when I'm doing our annual colors with pansies, I usually mix 3 colors together in a display. So I usually always add some type of yellow because it's the first color your eyes are attracted to. So
It pops.
It pops it. Now, this is a viola, which is a smaller version of the pansy.
I love that.
And you know what's really cool about this is you take this with a bigger flower and mix them, it looks like baby's breath in a display, so it's okay to mix the different varieties. Snapdragons also do great here, and they'll bloom all the way through end of spring, so they last a long time.
Wait, if you plant those now?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I've had them bloom all summer long in some of my areas that are semi-shade, so they last long. A lot of us know cabbages, and this is the regular cabbage, ornamental cabbage. This one is a kale, and this is called red boar, which is beautiful. Here's my favorite. This reminds me of you. You know why?
Why does that remind
It's called glamour.
Yeah.
See, there you go. And look, it's shiny, so it's wet but shiny.
Oh, stinky feet.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, give me a break.
I regret that moment already, okay?
And glamour has a waxy foliage to it, and I find if we go real cold, sometimes ornamental cabbages will melt. They rot, but this one's really tough. And don't forget about your mustards. This one's called Ms. America, and it's
reminds me of
this is
Adam.
beautiful. That reminds me. And then this one smells. This reminds you of Adam, actually, but not the
pretty
good way. Mums, of course, and you know this is also a ground cover pansy, which is called Cool Wave. So there's so many different varieties out there, but you want to get them coming up soon because by the time you get into mid-November or so, your selection becomes minimal.
So when you say ground cover, will that spread?
Yes.
Ooh, I like those.
It spreads great to go in pots to drape over, or if you want to fill a lot of void and space, Cool Wave.
Ooh, I like it.
Wave.
Cool Wave. I like the name.